Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna different melody. Krishna Krishna wrong. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Anyway, I think it's necessary a little bit to wake us up, no? Bring us at least to the mode of passion from the tamas. Mode of tamas to mode of passion at least. And then maybe gradually we'll come to some sattva, and then maybe we can try to understand some Shuddha sattva, which is this Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. This is chapter 6 entitled Dhyana Yoga. Text 30. That we discussed last time, 30, no? But we didn't complete the commentaries of the charis. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam chamai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sa chame na pranashyati. Very melodious verse. Krishna was saying, for one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I'm never lost. Nor is he ever lost to me. Very powerful statement. That's any other, of course, but we can rest assured that if we are Krishna conscious, Krishna will always be conscious of us. Will never be abandoned. What's the greatest fear in this world? What's the greatest misery that one feels in this material world? Huh? Yes. No. That is there, but why one feels that also? What's the real trouble? Yes.
Loss of position.
Loss of identity, position. Yes, it is, but what else? What's the greatest misery? Really, what's the greatest misery? What kind of feeling?
Attachment.
That is the attachment is ignorance, that's suffering, that's true.
Birth.
Huh?
Birth.
No. I'm not listening. Yes.
Falling in Maya.
Falling in Maya, we're already in Maya. How can we fall further? It's a state of loneliness, abandonness, being a feeling that we're abandoned. We are, we don't have anyone to relate to or interact with, or just feeling really alone. Even though we might be surrounded by so many things and so many people, we may be in the midst of billions of people, but then you just feel like you can't talk to anyone. Nobody can understand you. And nobody wants to deal with you. That's mostly the feeling when people just, break down, emotionally break down, and then that leads to all kinds of horrible actions. Anyway. So that state that there's no one that we can have faith in, trust, no one that appreciates us, no one that we can open our mind. That's the worst feeling. I don't know if you ever had any experience as such. Even though you might be, as I said, surrounded by so many so-called relationships. And then people feel so depressed. That's the worst feeling. And then from that, all other horrible consequences follow. If one doesn't act upon it, if one doesn't do something about it, or hopefully has someone who will recognize this and try to elevate one. I know one friend of mine, he's living in UK, London, and his wife left him. Then he couldn't understand why. And whatever, anyway, and he was in severe depression for months, and even sometimes even more than that. And then he was even contemplating suicide. So it's a very there can be very, very depressive moments in life. It does happen. So, but why is that so? Because then you feel abandoned, you feel rejected, you feel unqualified. So many different feelings come. Useless, hopeless. And that is the state of material existence. At some point when we are not so much filled with passion, when that kind of ignorance prevails, of that false identity. Ignorance means false identity. Identity with the body, identity with people, that it's temporary. It's all false. So then those kind of feelings arise. That's like pretty heavy. That's pretty heavy. So here, what Krishna is saying, one who sees everything in me, one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I'm never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. So if you have Krishna, then you never feel like that. You can have Krishna because you can recognize and see Krishna in everything and everywhere. That's what means Krishna consciousness. And therefore you don't have to depend, that's very serious, you don't have to depend on anybody else. That's why you can apparently be alone but always be with Krishna. Krishna will always be with you. Krishna never abandoned you. Because when Krishna abandons you, that's when you're alone. That's when you're depressed. But why? Why he abandons you? Because you've abandoned him. Actually, he never abandons you, but you've abandoned Krishna. And you've taken shelter of someone or something else that cannot respond. And actually, even worse, they respond in a negative way. They find faults in you, which of course we do all have on the material platform, and we identify with that. And that's why there's that suffering. There's that loneliness, there's that illusion. Mostly with people who like this, they leave their families for a while. Like yesterday, there was one boy, he came, he was crying, said I left home, I came here to Mumbai to study, and then, I just can't do it. And anyway, I went through whole trips of this. I want to go back. What should I do? Yeah, it's heavy if we never did that. Then how will one mature? How will one grow up? Otherwise, one just always remains mama's boy. Go back home, hold your mother's sari, for forever. What is that? Then you always remain a kid, immature, hopeless practice. So one has to learn how to overcome this, but then that can be overcome more easily. Of course, if one has some habits, usually that's with children when they're young, it's easier to get pulled out from the family atmosphere. And they learn so many things. They grow up, they learn how to be independent. They mature very fast. So that can be overcome, but even far more so if one takes shelter in the Krishna conscious practice or spiritual practice. And then learns how to associate with Krishna, learns how to talk to Krishna, and learns how to hear Krishna responding back. Then how can you ever be alone? And you're never alone. Therefore, that depressive feeling of loneliness, it's never there. Prabhupada could go all over the universe, practically, you may say, all over the world, wherever. And it didn't matter, because he was always with Krishna, and Krishna was always with him. Because he saw Krishna everywhere, and he saw Krishna in everything. And therefore you don't depend on others, you just depend on Krishna. But even if Krishna doesn't respond, aslishya vapadaratam vinashtamam adarshanam even then, it doesn't matter. Even if Krishna doesn't respond, you still know that Krishna is your eternal master. And actually, you can't sever that relationship. That's always there. On the eternal platform, it's always existing. Might be just temporarily unavailable for whatever reason, mostly because of us or our certain state. But it's always there. It's eternal. What is eternal? It's eternal. But we just have to become conscious of it. So then where is the question of loneliness? So sometimes, who is the most loneliest? You may be in the big family, but you may feel the most loneliest, most depressed. But you can be single and be always jolly and happy and satisfied, Krishna conscious. So this is anyway what we discussed. This is the verse that Krishna is saying, and that's the state of a certain stage of yoga practice when one sees, when one perceives Krishna. How does he perceive Krishna? He sees it, of course, as a Paramatma. The yogi does that, but not necessarily you have to see. You see with the. How does a Vaishnava see? Huh? How does Vaishnava see? Yes, Suraj.
With his ears.
Through his ears. Amazing, isn't it? What an ability. Even if you close your eyes, you can see through your ears. That's a magic. No, that's a real yoga system. What do you think about that? Huh? Shiva, you want to demonstrate how do we do that? Yeah. No, but how do we see Krishna? Through our ears. Well, we need some practical demonstration. I'm joking really, but people are not hearing. That's the problem now. So therefore, when you're not hearing, how will you listen? How will you see? How will you see? Anyway, we see through knowledge. We see through knowledge. That's why it's all the philosophical systems are known as darshanas, right? So darshana. That's a darshana. That's a vision. That's an understanding. Even in English, there is an expression, "Oh, I see." No, I see. You don't see. You hear. You understand. Understand. So that's real seeing. That's how you could perceive Krishna through knowledge, and then also, of course, you can really see Krishna. It's not that it's just an understanding, a vision, or something. No, it's direct perception. Pratyaksha magamam dharmyam susukham kartum abhyayam. Pratyaksha. It's direct perception. This is the process. You can directly perceive also once you become qualified. You have to become qualified. You have to do something about it. So that's a state where yogi can directly relate to Krishna. And this is what we are discussing here in this 6th chapter, position. What is yoga? Practice. And how one who is advanced in it, then he sees Krishna everywhere. Therefore, he is never lost. He is not lost because he knows his position. You know where you are. Let's say I take you in Mumbai somewhere, I don't know. Where can I take you? What's Ghatkopar or somewhere, I don't know. Somewhere. Any part of Mumbai, and then you know where to go, where to turn, you know the streets, whatever. Any part. Of course, if you know, then you're not feeling lost. But if you wouldn't know, then it would be a problem. It would be difficult. Mumbai is a huge place. Because then you would have to call rickshaw or Ola or someone or something to pull you out. So yogi knows his position, yogi knows where is Krishna, everything is clear. And then he knows he has his goal, he knows where to go. He knows where he is, he knows the means of going, and he knows where to go. That's what we have to understand in the spiritual life. We have to understand where we are, what's our position, even though it might be conditioned now. We have to understand what are we supposed to do about it, and then where is our destination. We have to be very clear about it, because most of the time people are not clear about their destination, what they're doing about in their lives. What do they consider to be a destination in life? Nothing. Get some pigeonhole in some building, and you consider that a home. And then if you don't have to rent, that's considered very successful. And then get some job, and somehow or other, you earn some money to maintain it, and that's considered life. Ooh, what kind of life is that? Such a boring, hopeless existence, practically, just to maintain soul and body together. That's not really life. Animals have no issues with that. Why do we consider that to be the goal of our existence? So that's not what we are supposed to aspire. We should understand what is the goal. The goal is get out of here. Get out of this nasty place which is called material world. What is so nice about it? What's so nice about this material world? I just hearing day before yesterday I heard about there's some place. I spent some time in Los Angeles, that's in the US, and there's some hills around that are considered very prestigious to live in. Very expensive homes and so forth, and people might think, wow, that's the goal of life. Maybe I should go and live somewhere, and then my life will be successful. But you have no idea that even in such a place, which is pretty good climate, let's say throughout the year you have a very mild climate. It's not too cold, it doesn't get too hot either. It's almost perfect practically. And then, of course, you have all the facilities, opulences, whatever it might be, but still people are miserable. We don't consider that. People are miserable. Why they're miserable? Because in spite of external facilities, internally they're not perfectly situated. And they're lost. They have so many problems, they have so many difficulties. Adhyatmic, adibautic, adidaivic. You can't get rid of this. You can't avoid it in this material world. That's why it said, dukkha layam ashashvatam. This place is the place of misery. And it's all temporary. Even if you gain some position or finally achieve what you thought is going to make you happy, you realize very soon it doesn't make you happy anyway. But still, even if you gain something, you'll still feel miserable. You'll still feel lonely because nobody else can respond to what we really need except Krishna. That's why we talk about Krishna consciousness. He's the only one who has the capacity to respond, to fulfill, to relate, and nobody else. And that's why no matter what we do in this material world, we're going to become depressed, we're going to become frustrated, disappointed. That's the material existence. But when you practice spiritual life and then you learn like a yogi to relate to Krishna, any place, anywhere, then it doesn't matter. You can be in hell, it doesn't matter. That's a Vaishnava, that's stated in Srimad Bhagavatam. Shiva said to Parvati, actually, you see this Chitraketu, this is a Vaishnava. He doesn't care, you curse him to go to hell to become a demon. There's a story anyway. It doesn't matter. Sarvo, what is that? Narakesh, anyway, Svarga or Narak, whatever, it doesn't matter. He is happy as long as he has a chance to serve Krishna. It doesn't matter. So for Vaishnava, it just doesn't matter. Like you live in the West or you live in India or you live anywhere else, it doesn't matter. For me, it doesn't matter. I can go anywhere. It doesn't matter. I can be in the worst place. This Mumbai is hell, actually. You may think it's a very nice place. It's just a horrible place. So polluted, so congested, so whatever. Anyway, dirty. Tell so many things. It's a horrible place. But why are we here? We have some purpose here. Something that's much greater, much higher, and much more worthier than maybe compared to any other place. Even in the world, whatever. Doesn't matter. And it has something. It has something that some other places don't. So that's why we have to have particular perception. And then spiritual perception. And material things won't matter. Because other places, let's say, okay, you go to Europe. Very nice, classic, traditional, cultural, architectural places. I mean, it's like you can really become amazed. But after 2-3 days, it's just all hollow, shallow, empty, hopeless. Yeah. And then what's the use of all this external amazement, amusement, whatever it might be? It's just so empty again. And there's another struggle still going on. Struggle with, your own mind and other minds, and so many other things. And again, even struggle for external existence that goes on everywhere in this world. So that's why we have to develop proper perception. And that perception is only possible in the higher level of Krishna consciousness. Because then again, when we have Krishna, then you have everything. Then you don't have to bother about external circumstances. Because now what we are doing, we're just trying to create some kind of external facilities and situation that we will think that this will make us happy and comfortable. And then even once you have that, you think, okay, I've succeeded. I'm going to be happy. But still, you're not happy. Even as I said, you achieve something material. Because where is the happiness? Sukh and dukh kahan hai? Man mein hai. Nahi? It's in the mind. It's all in the mind. It's not about anything external. You're happy internally. It doesn't matter what's going on. But how to achieve that happiness? How to achieve that state of mind? Oktaram yagyatapasam sarvalokam mahesharam suhridam sarvabhutam tattvamam shantim vichati. Vichati means to take. Shantim vichati. So we have to know what position of Krishna, who is Krishna, and how he relates to us. That's all. Then you'll be peaceful. Once you're peaceful, then you can be happy. Without a peaceful mind, you cannot be happy. You may have be a master of the whole universe, but if you don't have a peaceful mind, you will not be happy. Simple as that. So that's why this is the position of a yogi who externally is absolutely, impoverished. He has nothing. He might be having one coconut, and some may become andalur or something, whatever. And nothing else. But internally, he has all the wealth. Maybe we can close this one and open the other one. Doesn't matter. So this is the position Krishna is saying. For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything, I'm never lost. That's a transcendental position. So one has to develop that vision. What is that vision? Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena samtat sadaiva hidayeshu vilokaya. Yashyama sundaram achintya guna sarupam govindamadi purusham tam bhajami. That's the Premanjana churita. Seeing, having the ointment of love, seeing everything with bhakti, devotion, desire to serve Krishna. Anyway, so that's what we discussed last time. Were there any other points? Anything? Yeah, there were. I took it from a different point of view today. Something else we discussed. What were the other points? Actually, I think that's all we're going to discuss today, this same verse. It's already 8:30, we're not going to move forward. Any other points? What was it that we discussed last? Yes.
Once we see Krishna, so we become mad like goosebumps.
Okay. Yes, once we see Krishna, we become mad. That's desirable madness. That's real madness. Not the madness of this world, which is destructive. It's a completely different type of madness. And then you can't, that's why once you see Krishna, you can't relate to anything of this material world because it's so hopeless. It's so useless. So unsubstantial. Anything else? Gaurav, you have some notes? Last Thursday.
Just give example like how you saw even by coming from that seminar that you saw the people tree which are going near energy. It's also Krishna. That people tree is a form of Krishna that we don't have to.
Okay, yeah. Wow, we are reading notes. Cheating business. Okay, anyway. Okay, so let's have commentaries now. Hear the commentaries of the acharyas on this verse and just go a little deeper, see what was their realization, their perception. Didn't offer the prayers, I just started getting into it right now, so I'll just offer prayers before I forget, which should have done way earlier. Om Jnanam Dasya Vinajana Shalakaya Shamina Tasmashri Praveda Namo Vishnu Krishna Krishna Vishnu Bhakti Swami Nityanam Namaste Saraswati Devi Guru Jana Vishesha Srinivadi Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare. Okay, so let's hear some summary. Gaurav, your number one first. So that, but give some summary, get some essence so it doesn't become, so people can relate to it. Hare Baba, give some better chair pieces.
Yeah.
Even that blue is better. Okay, no, give this one. So what we do also here, for some of you who are maybe for the first time or second time, because we didn't do it last time, every verse has certain commentary of the various acharyas. We read various acharyas from various sampradayas. We try to understand it much deeper and see how it also relates to us and what we can do and how we can implement it in our lives. So we will hear from whom? Who is the first? Not you, Acharya. You're just reading.
Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comment.
Okay, so that is the state of the advanced yogi. So then what happens next? How does that yogi, what does he do in such kind of consciousness? How does he act? You see, once you have certain understanding, you have certain perception, you have certain vision, but then what do you do about that? What are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to act? Then this is something that's going to be explained in the next verse. And then we will discuss next Thursday. Okay, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai. Prabhupada ki Jai. Any questions? Or
I have a question.
Yeah, later. You came late. You didn't hear most of the class. Later we'll discuss. Anybody who was hearing the whole class? Any topic in relationship to what we discussed? Or we'll conclude and then you may ask questions after the session. Okay, we'll conclude. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.